content of this video has been extracted from the Moodle plugin development by example course from Moodle Publishing. And since we mentioned the Moodlelib API, we might as well have a look at it as well. So the Moodlelib API, I describe it as a sort of Swiss knife of the Moodle APIs. Anything that doesn't quite fit anywhere else kind of ends up in Moodlelib. But it also provides many general purpose functions. For example, as related to strings, we've got the get string, print strings that we talked about. And to use the string manager methods, you would then get string manager to get an instance of the class, and then you would be able to do call the functions that I spoke about earlier. Okay, it defines several classes, including language string, a special class to handle the generation of strings. And the API is all housed in the Moodlelib PHP file in the lib folder. Right. So apart from the string stuff and more useful to us as we're going to develop an authentication plugin in this lesson, things that are to do with authentication and user specific functions. So you have things like get enabled auth plugins to find out which authentication plugins are enabled, or just to get an authentication plugin. You've got get auth plugin. You've got require login, require logout, require an admin user. So then we've got things like full name, which returns the user's name in the correct format for the language, etc. And if you wanted to do something else with usernames, you can get all the username fields, as well as create a user record, a bare bones create a user record, or you can delete user. You can also set the user's preferences, and you can return dates in the format that is based on the user's language or settings, etc. And there's also functionality to deal with passwords, so resetting passwords, checking passwords, and a couple of password constants such as password lower, password upper, and password digits to check passwords, especially for the policy set by the admin for the Moodle site. Right, so other things, input parameters, so stuff that is being posted to your script. You can clean the parameters, check for parameters, set defaults by using the optional parameter method or call. And you have several constants defined, such as text, boolean, etc. So you can check your the input as you require. And then you have things like value related constants, such as value required or value optional, all kind of related. Then you've got configured variables like set config and get config to get global configuration settings. Then you've got caching. Purge caches is a useful one to have because you do a lot of that when you're a developer of plugins in Moodle. And then we've got course related kind of functionality like delete course, remove course contents, and other stuff like that. And the course is strong in Moodle because in a way that was the first thing that was kind of core functionality for Moodle. So you have activity type feature constants, so that you can define the features of your plugins, especially relating to modules, and modules being activities or resources in the course. And you have other constants to define your module. We'll touch on these again on all of this in this course. Right, and then there are other, that's why I called it the Swiss Army knife, because it's basically got lots of different things within the API. So you've got things for date and time, so format time, day of the week, get time interval strings, and then some constants defined like an hour 6, day 6, day months. You'll come across that again in the form API, where sometimes you'll be using those. File related functionality such as get file storage, clean file name, get file packer. We'll touch on these again in this course when we look at files and uploading and managing files. Email functionality to send emails to users or get the mailer and generate such things as sign-offs. Then you can also get some lists, so you can get the list of character sets and plugins and themes, etc. And you can work with emoticons by getting the emoticon manager and then calling the methods in that particular class. And then other things like fix UTF-8 to ensure that a value is valid UTF-8, is number to check if it's a number, and format float to format numbers for display. So that's Moodlelib, kind of the Swiss Army knife of the Moodle API functionality, and we will definitely be seeing quite a few of these functions as we progress through the course. As mentioned before, the content of this video is an extraction of some of the content from the 12-hour-long lessons from the Moodle plugin development by example course. A link to the course page is in the description, and several regional discounts are available. If this video has been useful and informative, please don't forget to like it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel for more useful content in the future. If you are so inclined, click the bell notification to be informed when we upload new content. Thank you.